What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? It's Red Baron 59 here. I kind of had a really weird dream last night. But a quick commentary on the gameplay in the background. I don't know what we were doing wrong in the first half, but these guys were not very good. And this is one of the things that I talk about with like I guess the skill gap in this game, and really like one of the reasons why I think it's the main reason I don't like the exos in this game is it really just kind of diminishes the skill gap even more. I think the map design diminishes the skill gap even more, and you know, I think that it was a very intentional thing on the part of the devs. I think what they thought, which you can see is pretty evident with the whole skill-based matchmaking bit, is that the reason why Call of Duty is struggling is because they're not, you know, bringing in new people by the fact that the game is too hard for them against, you know, higher quality, more experienced players. But that's really not it, you know. And they just they look the issue right in the face every single year, and they refuse to do anything about it, you know. And I don't know if it's just because they really are like that fucking dense that they just don't see it, but the obvious evident issue is the same persistent problems every year. And in my opinion, like one of the biggest being lag, you know, and the small skill gap. Like there is no reward to playing this game. You can't really be that much better than other players. You know, I mean, you can do consistently good. That's not what I'm saying. But in Call of Duty, even the worst players can do better than you sometimes under, you know, weird, awkward circumstances like bad timing, whatever else, you know. And that was one of the things that was happening here. Is we just this entire match, like I don't know what was going on. It's just bad timing, you know, because like obviously the exosuit creates a much greater chance that there's going to be bad timing, you know, because they're just fly up over the wall at any point. But you know what I really think is the issue is the latency, the lag. Like look at that, look at that. I mean, you know, I saw him on the minimap, but I didn't realize he was literally like just crouched over there, laying down or whatever he was, reloading. It's just like that's how this game can be. And you know, the thing that's I think really evident that people get super frustrated with is when you play other shooters. You know, there's a lot of there's not a lot of moments, at least in my experience, where you're like, how did that happen? You know, at least to a veteran player. Like veteran players, when you're playing a shooter other than CoD and you die, I feel like you realize a lot of times when it happens that you deserved it. And Call of Duty, for instance, is the only game that has such an awkward skill gap that is intentionally compressed and intentionally masked to make other players feel like they're good, which is one of the main things about skill-based matchmaking. Like today I had this terrible player try to lie to my face for one. It was really funny. He really frustrated me, you know. There was like twice that the guy kind of camped, and then he started talking shit. And so I said something about it because he started saying like, you know, because I got frustrated about his camping, so I decided to play a little more aggressively. And he said something about I must have an aim pod and all of this, and that kind of stuff really frustrates me because COD is the only game where people consistently try to find excuses to explain away their poor performance, you know, and a lot of it can be attributed to the game sometimes, but this dude was legitimately terrible. And he tried to tell me about how he had like a 3KD and things, and I was like, no you don't, dude. I already looked you up on Contractor because I didn't really think you were that good. I could tell, you know, and it was one of those moments where like, you know, just because of awkward timing and things that got beat me, but I came back, I went 30-1 on him, you know, I got the gameplay from it. And this dude called me a noob at some point, and Call of Duty is, in my opinion, the only kind of game where you will see obviously noob players try to call obviously vets noobs and talk about their KD and things. Because there's really no representative other than that of how good you are at the game. There's no real way to grow, and I think that Call of Duty would do to create a larger skill gap. I think that that's one of the things they overlook, but to also legitimately overhaul, like really actually get a real new engine, whether it be to spend the money to contract new people, because they could improve the P2P hosting with the new engine anyway. You know, I mean, whatever, if they don't want to have real daddies, that's fine, you know. But they could actually improve the match, or the player-to-player connection with the better netcode. And the better netcode can only really be achieved with an actual better, you know, engine, a new one, a real one. And, you know, yes, it would take a couple of years, but this constant, like, crap about, you know, and they got caught up in the whole PR scandal when they were exposed for not really having a new engine, believe it or not, by PlayStation Magazine, which was really funny, when interviewing, I want to say his name was Mark Lamia. But that guy gets caught up in an awkward lie, you know, and he has to backpedal and admit that it's really not a new engine, that it's still the same Quake engine that Call of Duty's been running on forever. And mind you, the Quake, the engine that Call of Duty's run on, is more than 20 years old now. It is 21 years old. And even that guy admits that fundamentally at its core, it's still Quake. That's why there's no real significant changes in this game, because they can't have real significant tangible changes in terms of the weather system, the lighting, the destructibility of the environments, the performance of the netcode, all of these things that are, you know, and the netcode is intrinsically built into the game. The flaw with the latency is intrinsically built into the game because it's such an old netcode. The input lag is still just part of it. So even before you talk about online, it's already lagging. Like even on land, this game lags because it's so old. There's an almost 1 second delay on land. You know, some people talk about, oh, I don't really lag in Call of Duty. Yes, you do. They just have a phenomenal lag compensation code to try to make it look good. It lags so badly, believe it or not, that if they didn't have this phenomenal lag comp code, it would be visible to you. Most of the, like, clearly visible, which sometimes it happens. Sometimes you do get the visible, you know, spikes and things, which is where it's so much that the lag comp program cannot make up for it even. You know, it's constantly lagging, like, and that's why you have those moments where you feel like you clearly should have won, and honestly, there's really no way to say whether or not you should have lost or not, because the input in this game is so bad that there's no real way for you to say with certainty that you should have won or lost that gunfight. You know, and they would have you believe every single, like, marketing BS thing they possibly can, you know, about why the new engine's great and all that, but you know, that's, I think everybody should keep a good eye out for Call of Duty's BS on the new engine thing, and it's gonna be the same next year. There's still gonna be the same lag, and until there's a for real new engine and Call of Duty comes out and says it's got the first version of a brand new engine, it's gonna still be there, you know. And but this is a crazy comeback game, and I hope you enjoy it. But I just had I guess, you know, I had a really strange dream last night, and I kind of want to share with you. So, like, last night it started raining really hard, and out of nowhere, like, I had this moment where I woke up, and I was having this dream like I was turtle heading some kind of crazy turd. I don't know what it was about. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Maybe it's because in my mind, like, my brain was having an expression of the fear of the thunderstorm. I don't really know what it was, you know, but for whatever reason, I was having this weird dream about, like, turtle heading, you know, some big old turd that I could barely hold back, and then shitting myself. And then I woke up, and it's just like thunder and lightning storming like crazy last night, and it's been like that all summer here in Louisville. Honestly, it's pretty crazy how much it's rained. And you know, I thought you guys would want to hear about that. I don't know why I had the dream. It's just so random, you know. And I'm sure that you guys have had weird dreams, but like I've had lots of nightmares and stuff. But that was just like it wasn't a nightmare. It was just a weird dream, you know. And that's all I really remember of it. Maybe there was something that preceded it that would explain the turtle heading thing. But the only part I remember is like immediately upon waking up, I remember feeling like in my dream I had to shit really bad, and then I was just pooping myself and couldn't control it, like on the way to the bathroom, trying to make it that time before it just got out of control. And you know, it was pretty weird. Something else I want to talk about that was like a lot of people tell me that they think that, like, you know, a lot of those YouTube players might be really overrated, and my favorite player on YouTube is the Market J. I heard somebody tell me once that they thought that Market J might be kind of overrated, and I find that hard to believe because, like, I've been watching him for years. I've seen him across many games. I've watched him drop Kim Strike after Kim Strike after DNA Bomb after DNA Bomb. And, like, I'll be all the way honest. So the guys I think that would be overrated are really the players that get, like, triple Kim Strikes and, you know, double DNAs and stuff like that. Those guys spawn trap a lot. You know, those players use, like, full parties to their advantage to manipulate and abuse spawns and things like that. And that's all well and good. That's fine if that's how they want to play the game. But that's really, like... I think that they would be the more overrated players, to be all the way honest. So I'm just curious, like, what do you guys think? You know, do you think a lot of your big YouTube pub stompers are overrated? Do you think they're really that good? Because I personally played Marco J a couple of times, and he's, in my opinion, phenomenal. You know, and despite skill-based matchmaking, he posts all the DNA bombs on the reg. And, well, now he does at this point. He's posted like 4 or 5 in the last 2 weeks. But this concludes my commentary, though. It's the Red Baron 59 signing off. I'll see you next time. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the YouTubers. See you. You know what? Actually, I'm going to continue this commentary because I kind of wanted to talk about this. So what I said earlier was like that I thought maybe that they overlooked the issue and then maybe they just don't notice it. And that's giving them the benefit of the doubt. The truth be told, I believe that Call of Duty intentionally ignores the issue because they realize, you know, they can continue to maximize the profits out of this game. They don't really care if it goes downhill. You know, they have World of Warcraft, you know, but right now, honestly, all their franchises are dying. You know, and Activision has had 2 of the largest franchises in gaming for a while. And in Blizzard's defense, World of Warcraft isn't really dying for any other reason other really than it's just plain old. You know, and PC games have a lot of longevity. They've been basically building on an original build for a long time. And I think that I don't really play World of Warcraft too much, so I can't speak too much to it. But as far as I understand, it's just old. But the truth is, with Call of Duty, they just don't care. You know, and they continue to screw us because they know that every single year we're going to continue to eat it. You know, and that the community is not educated enough on the issues involved to really actually speak out against it and be like, hey, we don't appreciate you not making a new engine for real and lying to us. We don't appreciate you misrepresenting the dedicated server system because you don't really have one. You know, we don't appreciate you trying to say things like listen server when what you really mean is the same thing we've always had, which is person-to-person hosting. There's no difference. It's just a fancy way of trying to diffuse the situation, you know. And, I mean, there's a lot of crap involved with that, but basically they just try to get away with lying to people. And I consistently get into discussions with other players who are misguided by this information, that do buy into this stuff, that believe in people like Drifter, who really they should be able to believe in, but they're liars. You know, and I mean, they'll defend them tooth and nail because they want to believe that these people aren't liars. And I don't know what that is about human nature, but I was raised to always be skeptical of everything and everyone because they lie to you, especially when they get paid to do so. You know, when people try to tell me they don't get paid by Activision, yes they do. Their bread and butter comes from Call of Duty. You know, even though they may not directly get a paycheck from them, they get flown out, they get first access to DLC, they get first chance to play games. They do lie to you. You know, and it's not necessarily like, I don't know, how do I say this? It's more marketing than anything. It's just marketing. Because a lot of what they say is not always a lie. Now, they have been caught in downright lies before. You know, when it came to the dedicated server system in the past, when they've been, you know, discussing things like their brand new engine and all of that stuff, they've been caught in absolute lies before, and that guy's an idiot. But anyway, like, you know, and it's just they continue to ignore the issues and not fix it because people don't know really for real what's wrong. They just know there's things that are wrong. They understand a general feeling of something being fucked up. You know, that the game doesn't work right in some regard or another. But, you know, people don't choose to branch out in the sources of information they pursue. That's like, you know, listening to the same line news agency all the time and then wondering why there's all these problems in the United States and everything else. When you continue to vote against your own interests politically and listen to the same liars all the time in politics. I mean, you know, I don't really have any sympathy for people that complain about the state of the United States and then vote for politicians who are obviously really just big money politicians in both the Republican and Democratic committee. Shh, you know, and I don't want to delve into that too much, but it's like, you know, when you continue to let people lie to you and kick you in the face over and over again, I can't really feel bad for you, you know. And I mean, it's just I wish people would not listen to guys like Drifter on these issues, you know. I mean, and I'm not saying he lies 100% of the time, but he definitely spin doctors it for the benefit of the Call of Duty devs. And again, guys, you know, I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe.